Welcome to a few moments together on the Parsha. This Shabbos, we have the privilege of reading Parshas Ekev. The Parsha begins with the first pasuk, from where we get the name of the Parsha, V'hoya Ekev Tishma'un Esa Mishpatim Ha'ela. And it will be in exchange for, or because you will listen to these Mishpatim, and you will listen to these Mishpatim by doing Ushmaitem Va'asisem Osam, you will guard them, and you will do them. Now, whenever it says the word, and you will guard them, and you will do them, the guarding, of course, means the learning of the Torah. The Shmiras Shabbos means we know how to guard the Shabbos because we learn what the commandments of the Shabbos are. The Shmiros Mitzvos, when someone's a Shomer Torah u'mitzvos, it means he's guarding by learning the Torah and doing the mitzvahs. And then Hashem promises us that if Ushmartem Asisem Osam, if you guard them and you will do them, then Vishamar Hashem Elokecha Lecha Es Habis Ve'es HaChesed Asher Nishba Lavosecha. Then He will guard the covenant and the kindness that He swore to your forefathers. And the Torah then goes on to list a whole long list of blessings that will accrue to the Jewish people because Ushmartem, and you will guard them by studying them, and then Va'asisem Osam, and then you will do them. But the Meshech Chochmah makes an interesting point by asking you to look at the beginning of the pasuk where it says, "V'hoya Ekev Tishma'un Es HaMishpatim Ha'ele," and you will because you will do these mishpatim. What does mishpatim mean? What are mishpatim? Now we know that there are three categories of mitzvahs. There are edus, things that are testimonies to the existence of Hashem, like the wearing of tefillin, the wearing of tzitzis, putting up a mezuzah, keeping Shabbos, eating matzah on Pesach. These are edus, testimonies about Hashem. Then there are chukim, which means statutes, laws that are given in terms of that which is forbidden to a human being to do because of Jewish law, having to do with morality, what foods you can eat, what relationships are permitted in Jewish law, and how those relationships are to be conducted. All the moral laws of the Jewish people are chukim. And so we have edus, chukim, and we have mishpatim. And mishpatim means civil laws, or just laws that are similar to justice that one can easily understand. Now, there's a tremendous difference between the chukim and the mishpatim. The chukim, as we know, are laws which are given in the Torah, but reasons for those laws are somewhat obscure. They're not given specifically. We don't have a clearly defined logic in the Torah as to why we're forbidden to eat certain foods, why we can't mix meat with milk, and why certain relationships are forbidden, and even within those relationships, what is permitted, what is not permitted in terms of chok, why we can't wear garments with wool and linen, and so on. These are all chukim. Yet, even though these are all chukim, and we don't necessarily have a given reason for them, we know through the study of the Torah, and especially through the writings of our sages in our contemporary times, the writings of Rav Shamshon Raphael Hirsch and others, that there are very, very good logics behind all of these reasons. However, what the Torah is telling us here, says the Meshech Chochmah, is very instructive. It says, "V'hoya Ekev Tishma'un," it will be in exchange for the fact that you listen, Es HaMishpatim Ha'ele. He calls all the entire body of Jewish law, chukim, mishpatim, edios, toros, everything is under the category of mishpatim. And the Meshech Chochmah says the reason why everything is under the category of mishpatim is because when one studies the Torah, when one delves and learns the divine Torah, they not only get a deep understanding of the mishpatim, which everyone can understand, and reasons, in fact, are openly given, but they inculcate within themselves the divinely inspired teachings even of the chukim. And the chukim become reasonable and understandable. Everything in the Torah becomes understandable through the study of the Torah. It is the lack of the study of Torah that brings about the greatest amount of lack of observance, of lack of loyalty, and it even destroys some people's sense of emunah, of bitachon and faith in God, because they can't fathom the Torah and its teachings. So therefore, the Torah tells us, "V'hoya ekev tishma'un," because you will listen to these mishpatim, ushmartem, and you will guard through the learning, va'asisem osam, and you will do them. That's the key. Not only will the mishpatim be clearly understandable, not only will the edios, the testimonies, be understandable, but even the chukim will be clearly understandable. They become in your mind as clearly rational and as clearly understandable as the mishpatim. And just as the mishpatim, you wouldn't live without thou shalt not steal. You wouldn't live without thou shalt not kill. So you will not live without the explanations of the chukim that so deeply get ingrained within the neshama of the Jewish people because they study the Torah. Now's a great time to enhance and increase our study. I want to take this opportunity before Shabbos to give a big mazel tov to the people who've joined our Daf Yomi, and this Monday are celebrating the completion of Masechta Shabbos, and on Tuesday, beginning Masechta Eruvin. I want to give a thank you and a big shout out and mazel tov to those who learn not only the Daf Yomi, but who come to any of our shiurim on a regular basis. And if you want to join with us, all are welcome. What a great zechus to study the Torah, because not only are the mishpatim clearly understandable, but even the chukim, as the Meshech Chochmah says, become like mishpatim. And just because you listen to that, all the covenantal promises that were given to the Jewish people with Avraham Avinu and Yitzchak and Yaakov are accruing to us too. What a great idea. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Have a Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach.